Man, today's video isn't really about a serious topic. I know we just talked about layoffs the other time, but this video is just kind of talking about anime and Funimation. Now, for people who don't know, a while ago, if I remember correctly, Sony actually bought Funimation, and Sony was the people who actually owned, what is it, Crunchyroll? Yeah. So it became this point where Sony owned Crunchyroll, Sony owned Funimation. They basically just owned everything when it came to anime, and they kind of had the monopoly on it, right? Sure, there's other services out there probably, but they're not services that I actively hear about. They're just kind of things that exist that might be able to get into, maybe not. I have absolutely no clue. And it ended up becoming this thing where, as someone who used Funimation on my Xbox a lot through my dad's, little subscription thing he had going on, I am kind of disappointed with how everything's kind of going with it, because they have recently announced that they're going to be shutting down Funimation on April 2nd, and it's going to be all Crunchyroll. And don't get me wrong, Crunchyroll is, an anime platform. It's something you can watch anime on, but it's not the best anime platform out there, let me tell you. Like, what do I even say about Crunchyroll, to be honest here? It's been a situation where, like, for example, let's say if you're a console viewer or something, right? Funimation had a pretty decent app. You're able to use it, works perfectly fine, no issues there. But you try using the Crunchyroll app? No, it is pain. It is suffering to try using that app, because half the time, it doesn't even load the anime. And then the other half the time, you're sitting there and then some issue occurs and it's like, oh, the anime buffers or whatever. Or you get like 4 ads back to back, you watch all those ads, and then the anime just doesn't play. It just freezes, and you're like, oh, what? So you just made me watch ads, not even so I could watch anime or anything? Meanwhile, Funimation, you were able just to kind of enjoy it, right? You were able just to kind of use it in its own pace or whatever else, and not have to worry about all these little bugs or issues, because it was a polished service. And it's just something that I'm annoyed about, because I'm like, man, why do they have to do this? Why they gotta do this to me? It was so much better before, and now it's just not good at all, and I hate it. It is really just like why they do this? Why do this though? But yeah, it's something I want to talk about, because I was just like, the recent news regarding Funimation, all these price changes and everything, really just kind of made me sad, because I like watching anime. I enjoy watching it and stuff, and I enjoyed using my dad's little Funimation subscription, but it feels like what they've done is they acquired Funimation, they acquired all the type of stuff just to shut it down and make it so that Crunchyroll can be the only platform that exists, which just has a more expensive pricing system, right? There is no real reason to go and try getting a cheaper alternative, because there is no cheaper alternative, meaning Crunchyroll can go ahead and price things however they want. If they want something to be $1 million, bada bing, bada boop. $1 million a month for the subscription. What are you going to do? Complain about it? Cool. But that's not going to change anything. Regardless of how much you complain, it's just going to be dead air at the end of the day. They can go ahead and continue doing whatever they want to do, because you can't change it. They're not going to change it. I mean, like, are you going to go ahead and try opening up your own anime site? Maybe you could try doing that, but I don't know if it would work really well for you. It's just like, it feels like a lost cause. And now pricing and anime shutting down that had better mobile apps or Xbox apps, all that type of stuff is one thing. And I understand that it's a very niche complaint that not everyone's going to have, but there's a few other reasons to be outraged on it. One thing is some of the shows that were on Funimation are not on Crunchyroll. They have not been transferred over to the other platform. So you sit there and you're like, okay, maybe there's this show I want to watch, but you can't watch it because that anime was never put on the other platform. It was only ever on Funimation and never carried over. So you're losing part of a catalog of anime you had actually watched. You no longer have that anime available for you, and you just kind of have to go with the flow. You just kind of got to enjoy what they give you. It's like you get what you get and you don't throw a fit type of situation, instead of just being able to watch everything. So there's some shows that either only had the subbed version on Funimation or had a dubbed version on Funimation that hadn't been transferred over yet, that are just going to kind of become lost to time, regardless of how you want it to be or not. And that is kind of bad, right? Having something you watch just kind of go poof and just not exist anymore does not sound like a fun time for anyone, because you're just losing out on content that you once paid for and you once were able to enjoy, and there's no competition that's going to allow that content to still exist on there. And also, there's a lot of people who have actually bought digital goods from Funimation's website, whether it's, like digital movies or whatever else that you could only watch after you purchased it on Funimation on top of other things. And when they asked Sony if they could transfer that content over to Crunchyroll, Sony basically was like, no, sorry, you can't transfer that content over. And that sucks because you're shutting down a platform just to merge it with another platform that is incomplete with the merger anyways, and you're not allowing people to actually carry over their stuff, and you're making it so legacy prices on stuff like Crunchyroll are being upped. So instead of paying like $6 a month, you're starting to pay like $13 a month or whatever else. And it just sucks because I feel that Funimation was way better than Crunchyroll. And like Crunchyroll at this point, they have this type of monopoly where they can just keep removing more and more features instead of making it a better platform. But of course, let me know in the comments down below, what do you think about the whole entire Funimation merger and everything else? And what do you think about the fact that some of the things you've actually purchased digitally on Funimation, you won't be able to even get on Crunchyroll? In my opinion, the whole entire thing about some digital goods not transferring over is a good example of the whole entire drama, debacle that's been going on recently about how you technically never own any of your digital stuff. Like, you're always just technically renting things, and it could go away one day because of how we've heard all these stories time and time again about this type of thing, and about how, let's say you get banned from a game or something. Congratulations, you got banned from the game. All that stuff you had purchased on that game, or all the stuff you bought on that entire account, is now void. It's null. It's not used anymore because of the fact that there is no need for it, right? It's just something that, has been going on and will keep going on for a while, and it sucks to see this actually happen because not only are you losing a better product, but you're also losing out on things that you may have actually purchased if you never got like a digital or a physical copy of it, or like a hard copy or something along those lines. And as a little bit of a slight complaint on top of all of that, there's also been issues regarding Crunchyroll and how stuff like their caption system, like closed captions and everything else, doesn't work on some of their applications, like on a Roku TV or whatever else. So it just is annoying to see how this is all just kind of going head over heels, just all blown up out of proportion or whatever in this way, where no one's really benefiting. The only one benefiting is Crunchyroll because they're going to be getting a lot more money from monthly subscriptions and everything, but the average consumer overall is getting a worse experience because of this whole entire merger and because of everything else. So if you're really thinking about it, especially since, Funimation doesn't have all their content on Crunchyroll, you're basically going to end up paying double the price for a subscription for less content than you would have had originally. And I don't think that's a really good offer, right? I think that there could definitely have been better offers for everything that just never ended up coming to fruition. So it's just going to be a chaotic time. I'm sad to see Funimation go. I'm sure my family's sad to see Funimation go since I use their accounts anyways. And until next time, I'll catch you champs and chambettes a little bit later with another video. Peace out.